The storm hit without warning. Rain hammered Sarah's windows as lightning split the darkness. She stepped onto her porch to secure loose items. That's when she heard it. A tiny, desperate squeaking, barely audible above the thunder. Following the sound, Sarah knelt beside a puddle. Her heart stopped. A baby bat, no bigger than her thumb, motionless in the freezing water. His tiny chest barely moved. Hypothermia was setting in fast. Sarah had rescued birds before, but never a bat. Never something this close to death. She knew the statistics. Baby bats separated from their mothers have less than a 5% survival rate. But something in that tiny creature's fight to breathe changed everything. With trembling hands, Sarah gently lifted the dying baby from the water. His body was ice cold. No response to her touch. She might already be too late, but Sarah made a choice that would change both their lives forever. She was about to attempt the impossible. If you're finding value in this, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. The clock became Sarah's enemy. Every 30 minutes, day and night, the tiny bat needed feeding. One drop of milk replaced her at a time. Too much would drown him. Too little meant starvation. Sleep became a luxury Sarah couldn't afford. Her alarm screamed every half hour for 3 weeks straight. But feeding was only half the battle. Baby bats can't regulate their body temperature. Sarah transformed a shoebox into a life support system. Heating pads, towels, thermometers. The temperature had to stay exactly between 90 and 95 degrees. 1 degree too cold meant death. On day 4, disaster struck. The bat's breathing became shallow and erratic. Sarah watched helplessly as his tiny heart fluttered like a dying engine. She tried everything. Chest compressions with her pinky finger. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. For 6 agonizing hours, the bat teetered between life and death. Then, at 3 in the morning, a miracle. His breathing stabilized. But this was just the first of many life-or-death moments they would face together. Sarah had won this battle, but the war for his survival was far from over. As the baby bat grew stronger, Sarah faced her most daunting challenge yet, teaching a creature of the night to reclaim the skies. She transformed her garage into a flight rehabilitation center. Every morning began with wing-stretching exercises, slowly building the flight muscles that had never been tested. Each day brought small victories and crushing setbacks. Sarah watched him struggle, her heart breaking with every failed attempt. Week after week, his wings grew stronger. His first glide lasted barely 2 seconds, but those 2 seconds changed everything. Then came the moment that took Sarah's breath away. True flight. Graceful, confident, and utterly magical. In that instant, she knew he was ready for the next impossible step. 3 months later, the inevitable truth arrived. Oliver was ready to return to the wild. Sarah knew this day would come. But knowing didn't make it easier. For weeks, she had been preparing him, gradually reducing feedings, encouraging longer flights. But how do you prepare your heart to let go? Wildlife rehabilitators face this moment with every rescue. The success is also the goodbye. Sarah's biggest fear wasn't that Oliver would leave. It was that he wouldn't survive. Young bats face incredible odds in the wild. Predators, weather, starvation. The night of release arrived with a gentle spring breeze, perfect flying conditions. Sarah opened her hands one final time. Oliver looked up at her with those familiar dark eyes. For a heartbeat, neither moved. 3 months of trust and care suspended in time. Then Oliver spread his wings. Strong, confident, ready. He launched into the darkness without looking back. As it should be. Sarah watched until she could no longer see him, her heart breaking and soaring simultaneously. This was success. This was goodbye. This was love in its purest form. Exactly 365 days later, Sarah's life was about to change forever. She had tried to move on. The memory of releasing her tiny patient haunted her dreams. But on this spring evening, as she prepared for bed, something tapped against her window. Sarah's heart stopped. There, hanging upside down on her window screen, was a small brown bat. Her mind raced. Thousands of bats lived in this area. This couldn't possibly be him. But, as she watched, the bat began exhibiting behavior that made her blood run cold. He wasn't trying to escape. Instead, he pressed his tiny face closer to the glass. Then came the chirping. The same desperate calls she remembered from those sleepless nights. Sarah's hands trembled as she slowly opened the window. The bat didn't flee. Instead, he crawled directly onto her outstretched palm, just as he had done as a baby. The impossible had happened. After a year of freedom, he had found his way back to her. This wasn't just coincidence. This was recognition. This was love transcending every law of nature. But what happened next would prove that their bond was stronger than anyone could imagine. What happened next would baffle wildlife experts for years to come. Year after year, every spring without fail, he returns. Not just once or twice. This incredible ritual has continued for over a decade. Each visit lasts exactly 3 days. Then he vanishes until the following spring. Scientists say bat memory typically spans only a few months at most. Their recognition abilities are limited to basic survival needs. Yet somehow, this tiny creature defies every scientific explanation. He navigates hundreds of miles of changing landscape to find her exact window. Through storms, droughts, and urban development, he never loses his way. During each visit, he brings the same gentle trust she remembered from his rescue. No fear, no wildness. Just pure recognition and gratitude. Wildlife experts call it impossible. But love operates beyond the boundaries of science. This bond proves that compassion creates connections that transcend species. Some relationships are written in the very fabric of the universe itself. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button and subscribe for more.